welcome to another episode of Alternate Future of the World. If y'all like this, make sure to like and subscribe. Anyways, let's get on to the video. So, before I cover things that happen in this episode, I just want to say this episode is going to be crazy. There's going to be tons of events. And there is something else that I want to say. I'm recording this on Monday. I'm making it come out on Tuesday because I don't think I'm going to have enough time to record it tomorrow. So I'm actually recording it on this day. And who knows, maybe I am. Maybe you're watching this on Monday. Anyways, let's get on to this video. But before, even though I already said that, let's actually see Africa's modern-day borders, because Africa would not look like this. Updated. Yeah, this is the updated map. There is a lot of stuff that happened. This is Nigeria. They moved up north because Nigeria expanded a lot and took some of their land. This is Mali as the Malian Empire. And even though they lost land, they also gained land. This is Morocco now. Morocco. And there are 3 powers here. And I have no name for any of them. But you won't get a name for them. Because all of these countries will, well, not all of them, but a lot of them will actually be joining nations. Yep, that's right. Another colonial phase. NATO would probably take all of that. And I feel like Mali wouldn't want to be taken by anyone. Anyways, well, the United States of the world would probably also be able to pull in the East African Federation, along with Ethiopia, which, not gonna lie, is pretty crippled after their war with, well, Egypt. Because I didn't really show this, on camera, but Egypt actually had a whole entire, thing where they took over, all of Sudan. They took over some lands of Ethiopia, but after that, they couldn't hold it anymore. They collapsed. They became their own nation, and then Israel finished them off. Also, they took some land before the collapse of Sudan. So, now, let's actually get back. This power will get, this area will get taken by the USA, while the other regions will be taken by Brazil. We're at this point the Brazilian Empire. That's right. That is the other country. And there will be no other countries like that. They will also take Libya. They will take the Niger Empire, which is a pretty good take, if you ask me. Chad is left alone. And one area right here will be taken by Brazil, while the rest are all taken by, well, you know the country, the United States of the world. I forgot to show some stuff, but yeah, now this is the updated area, and not everything is done. There is still 2 more countries to go on the sides. Somaliland will be taken over by Brazil, and Niger will be taken by the United States of the world. Now Africa has few to no countries, and Brazil, using their newly found nation of Libya under their belt, will start to invade Algeria. So, invading forces will come in, and they are already in a rebellion because they were not in a good state even before this rebellion, because they got land taken, and then eventually the people had enough and they rebelled away. And I just want to say, I forgot to do this, but there is different rebellions. So there will be a rebellion right here. And all of these rebellions have different ideas for the country. This one is a democratic one because they did get a dictatorship, which caused them to invade Morocco, but that was a bad choice, and Morocco invaded them, and then a bunch of other countries started to invade them, and yeah. So this one is a democratic one. These 2 little pocket areas are not for democracy, but for a republic. And there is one more one. And this one is for a brown team government. Not a brown team government. There is no brown team in this world. I don't know what I was getting confused with the black team. But what I meant was basically the black team's government, which is a dictatorship. Which didn't... No, I'm just joking. It's not a dictatorship. It's actually a monarchy. So monarchs will be right here. And they invade from the northern area. And they are weak at this point. And they already got their capital captured with the monarchs. So what happens is they surrender to all 4 governments. The first one is, them. Okay, Brazil. The second one is the Republicans. The third one is, not Republicans. These are democracy. I don't know what those would be called. These are Republicans for number 3. And number 4, the land that they get, simply enough, is all of this. Anyways, let's look at this piece. Democrat, Brazil, Republic, dictatorship, done. Peace treaty over. now other events. So yeah, that peace treaty was pretty quick for your time. Anyways, the United States of the world will take these two areas since they're super weak, while Brazil invades another country again. And this time, the fight is gonna be harder, with a stronger opponent than others, aka Chile, the Chilean Argentinian, the Argentinian Chilean Union. So, Brazil creeps up from the behind, right here. That reminds me of another series of what happens, but I can't quite put my finger on it. Anyways, they take some Chilean areas, and they were expecting Argentinian forces to be on the border of where their old panhandle would be. Right here, I think. So they expected soldiers to be right here. And they were true and right. So they clearly start invading in. And what does Brazil do? They pull out something that they've been working for a while on. A nuke. Yup, Brazil finally got its own nuke. Right where the capital it's nuked. And the Chilean capital of where Chile's capital was, which I think was right here, nuked. Yeah, they made some nukes. How much nukes to be exact? 20. So now they have 18. And this makes the invasion a lot more easier. However, they cannot get over the mountains. And that's kind of a natural defense for the Chilean area. So, they go over to where the capital would be and capture it. However, troops there have hazmat suits. And this was so crippling for Argentina that they surrender. Well, not Argentina. The Chilean Argentinian Union. And we all already know what this peace treaty is gonna look like. Full annexation. And with this, only 2 countries are in South America. The United States of the world, which is the strongest country, and Brazil, the Brazilian Empire, the second strongest country. Both countries have claims in Africa. And something crazy happens. The United States of the world starts to invade Afghanistan. The US tried it, they failed. The Soviet Union tried it, they failed. So, let's see if they can do this. They invade. However, it's very hard to invade. But they barely get over the mountains here. However, the US is easier to attack this area since it's not mountainish like the other area. So, they are now in 2 fronts. And to make it even worse for them, 4 fronts. But they can only attack them from 2 sides. I know. That's why other countries are coming in. So, Iranian troops come in. And this is multiple countries invading it at the same time. And also India's invading it with their troops over here. And this is a team effort. They're all barely getting into them because they are called the Graveyard of Empires for a reason. With treason. Okay, I'm just joking. But what happens is the Indians all focus on the capital. So do the we're Indians. I think that's what it would be called. Focus on. And so does the Iranians. And they all decide to do one thing. Bolster all of their forces together. And what do I mean by that? I mean this. By the way, that took me like 30 minutes to make. At least. So, what happens next? Is after that, millions upon millions, maybe even billions of troops flood in to Afghanistan. The United States of the world is very united, but not just united, big. And with this, the country that was the graveyard of empires has officially been taken down. Afghanistan, I don't think so. I don't think it was, but I don't think it was ever colonized. So the country that avoided colonization, the country who was called the Graveyard of Empires, fell. And that will be taught in this country's history class as the greatest moment ever for, well, Floridian kind. Yeah, that's what I've decided to call it. Because there was the United States of America, but they kind of formed this, and now they're the United States of the world. Yeah. So instead of American, Floridians. Anyways, that. Oh. I almost said that was it for today's episode. No, that was not it. There's 2 events left. And those 2 events left are first every single country that has been left out, except for the Swiss, all have united. They're all under one flag. And that flag is a flag of unification. A flag of unity and stuff. And Switzerland has seen everything. They are very neutral. They don't know what to do. They don't know if they should break their neutrality or anything. Oh yeah. And also there's this country, which is Serbia, or what was Serbia, because now they've joined the Yellow Team country. And there is now 3 main powers in this world. What I like to, and they all have names. There is, well, first let me do this real quickly. Anyways, there is the United States of the world, the Brazilian Empire, and finally, and what I like to call the Chad Fracture. Because it's kind of like a Chad just fractured a bunch of stuff, yeah. However, there is one area right here. It is the center. Well, not the center, but it is what I think is the only point where all 3 of these alliances meet. Well, all 3 of these countries meet. And something happens that is crazy. What happens is, pow! Brazilian troops fire. Oops. It's not gonna be that big. But Brazilian troops fire on the United States of the world and the Chad Fracture. And this, my friends, officially starts, I think, World War IV, the final World War. I hope y'all like today's episode. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next. You really thought I was gonna end it there, huh? Welp, no. I mean, I won't be talking about the war, but I will be talking about something that is happening during the war. The mech. The creation that I made has officially been let out. What is controlling it? Me. And it has had some upgrades since the last time we've seen it. This is the old one, and this is the new one with the literal furnace right here, where once that opens and you get stuck inside of it, which that furnace is the size of an average human that's 20 years old. Well, that's at least what you see right here. It's bigger than that. But anyways, with the furnace right here, and with areas where if they fired at you, you would not survive, and even sharp areas. this thing would destroy you. And this thing was released on the United States of the world side. And what's in it? Me. I am the thing controlling that. And we gotta remember that this is the future, not the past. So I am not the age that I am right now in this series. In fact, I'm probably hundreds of years old. Also, this takes place in 2202. And the war has finally begun. Join us for the next episode. And this is truly the end of today's episode. I hope y'all liked it. Make sure to like and subscribe. And I'll see y'all in the next one.